Welcome to another NEBA Spotlight. Today, I'm very happy to present to you Howie. Howie, tell us about your business.
Thank you, Greg. Thanks for the opportunity to present to NEBA. Very excited about it. What we do is we provide business loans and real estate loans, plain and simple. My advice to everybody are three initials if you have your own business, and that's LOC. What does that stand for? A line of credit. If you don't have a line of credit, I really believe you're missing the boat. That's our most popular product because you never know when that rainy day is going to come, or God forbid, another pandemic comes. And that's not when you want to ask a bank or anybody for money. It's just not going to happen. You might be eligible for a PPP, EIDL, restaurant and restoration loans, whatever it may be, but you don't want to stand in line for that. So the way an LOC works is that if you're doing round figures, $1 million in gross sales or money profitable for $1 million a year, you go into any bank or hopefully your business bank and say, listen, I'd like a line of credit. You're entitled to get 10 to 15% of that money. What's wrong with having $150,000 at your disposal if you need it? If you don't use it, you're not charged the interest rate. Some banks will charge you a carrying fee because they put the money aside for you. So it might be a 0.5% a year. You do the math. I think it's worth your peace of mind to have a line of credit. Our next most popular product is the SBA programs from the Small Business Association. I work with startups through the Small Business Development Centers around the country. They will write a business plan for a startup or an established business because that's what a bank or a lender wants to see. You then bring that to me. I will find the right bank or the right lender for you. There's two kinds of SBAs. There's the business one, which is 7A, and there's the real estate one, which is a 504. They're very similar in what the SBA will want to see from you. They're going to want to see your credit score. If you don't have a 700 score, I'm going to tell you to stop right there and get credit repaired and get up to 700. If you don't have tax returns that look very good and are ascending every year, it's another issue. Last but not least, you need a nice personal financial statement where your assets are far and above your liabilities. I always say getting an SBA is almost like trying to get your child into a Ivy League college. It's not easy. And the SBA does everything to ensure that they're going to get paid back. They not only, if you have a home, want that home on that SBA loan as collateral, they also want a life insurance policy on you. God forbid you pass away. So that way they're ensuring that the SBA program doesn't fail. And the banks will always send you to the SBA programs first. Now, what happens if you don't qualify? Well, there's a whole slew of over thousands of private lenders out there. But how do you know which private lender to go to? That's where I come in. I will make what's a Yiddish term called a shidduch. Any Jewish people know what that means? That means to make a match. I have to make the match between my client and the right private lender. Some private lenders like specific kinds of businesses or real estate properties. I have to find that and really cut to the chase and get you the loan right away. Why? Because if you're trying to get a real estate mortgage, you might lose that property unless you get at least a term sheet or something to show that seller that you're serious and that you can qualify for the loan that you need. So that's what I'm doing. There's all different kinds of mortgages on real estate. There's the standard mortgage. There's the refinancing of a mortgage. There's a cash out. Now, what's a cash out? Say you have a property free and clear that's worth, in round figures, $1 million. You're entitled to $600,000 to $700,000 as a cash out to buy another property. This is how people build their real estate empires. They literally buy one property, use the next one for collateral, and it keeps going and it keeps going. And the main thing is to make sure you have a rent roll in the property that you're going to buy, because that's what the lender wants to see. They want to see revenues coming in that's going to not only pay the loan off, but you yourself have to also show another 30 to 40% of profit in the company that you're working with in order to get that loan. So it's not only the rent roll, it's another 30 to 40% of revenues coming in somehow to show the mortgage person or the lender or the bank, whoever is going to give you that money, that that property is going to be okay. Now, it sounds simple, but a quick story. I lent money to a woman in Albany where I went to school, and she rented property out to students. And the lease was over. Two students left, and one student says, "Nah, I'm not going to leave." And I don't know if you know the laws in New York. It's very difficult to get somebody out. So now she was stuck. Nobody was paying the rent for 2 to 3 months. She's paying legal fees. So it's not all a bed of roses when you own real estate. You have to make sure you are going to rent that property out to reliable people and make sure you check them out before you have them sign a lease. So that's very important. The sheet that Greg put up there, I put that up there for just the top left-hand corner. It's tough to read, but it's gas stations, restaurants, car washes, hotels, and motels. Those are all red flags for banks. And that's where I'm very busy in the situations where banks cannot make the loans. So gas stations, you've got oil and gasoline on the property. There's an environmental concern. There's dangerous chemicals all over the place. So chances are a bank doesn't want to get into bed with that kind of loan. Restaurants. How many of us live around a restaurant that's probably changed hands in the last 3 times in the last 5 to 10 years? It's not a stable business. So you have to really make sure that you find a lender that's comfortable with making a loan. Car washes, again, believe it or not, there's chemicals all over the property. It's an environmental concern and it's a cash business. So most of the time, car wash owners are not showing the cash. Last but not least is hotels and motels. I love doing them because I know the lenders that love doing them. And it's hard because you never see a hotel or a motel that's completely full 100% of the time and bringing in revenues. So those are the kind of loans I get. Now, where do I get them from? Believe it or not, I get them from banks. Banks give me a lot of referrals because if they have the client like a restaurant, a motel, a car wash, they'll take their deposits and they'll be happy to do the business with day-to-day checking. But giving them a loan, that might not fly with them. So they'll find me. I'll get them a loan through a private lender that's not going to take that account away from them, their deposits, and everybody wins. We did that with a nonprofit homeless shelter in New York because the bank had a mortgage on their building, but they wanted another building. And they said, Howie, we can't give them any more money. Can you find them another lender? So that's what I do. I help the banks. And if you flip the coin, I have 1 minute left. If I flip the coin, guys, I love to give loans back to banks. To me, it's got to be a two-way street. So if I find somebody that's very, very credible, but needs a particular loan in a particular kind of space, I'll find the bank that's going to help them very quickly. And Greg, I thank you for the time. It's now 9:24.
You rocked it, Howie. Thank you so much for what you do, my friend. Looking forward to supporting you and your business.
Thank you.